What's going on, guys? Welcome to day 2. I'm excited to kick this off for us. Not only is this a topic I enjoy talking about, I also get to do this with a good friend of mine, John Farling, who you guys will be hearing from in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about, as Josh said, business and life principles, but more specifically, how you can utilize these to help you reach your full potential in both business and life. I'll be talking about some of the things that have worked well for me over the past year or so, and I'll focus on some lifestyle elements that apply to your business. John will focus on some business elements that apply to your life. And as we keep saying, a good life principle is also a good business principle. So hopefully you guys see the connection that they do draw together very nicely. And over the next 22 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about how to create lasting change in your life, how to remove any and all obstacles, and 3 ingredients that I believe can help anybody reach their full potential in both business and life and become a better version of yourself. And I think for the most part, we know that in order to create a new level of success in our business, new growth, new wealth, we too must experience growth. As we grow, our business will grow with us. And just as an example, hopefully I could paint the picture. Let's just say that over the course of a year, I experienced this much personal growth. It's kind of unrealistic for me to expect my business to have skyrocketed in that time frame. But if I reverse that and said, well, this year I've grown this much, you would probably imagine my business to be somewhere around there as well. And as you grow, your business will grow with you. I was listening to a show recently talk about internal and external success. External success is outside of us. It is growth in our business, wealth, financial freedom. Maybe it's the new house, the new car. Internal success is within us. It is a sound mind, an abundance of knowledge. It is a spiritual connection and oneness with God. It is peace, fulfillment, happiness, joy, even in the midst of a storm. And I like to think of it this way. You are the vehicle that propels both your life and your business. And similar to your vehicle at home, it's capable of getting you to your destination. And sometimes we get an alert or a notification, a check engine light goes on, and we need to look under the hood. We need to look inward. And if we repair it or make it better, we can get to our destination and even go further. But sometimes we don't pay attention to that. Sometimes we ignore it. We say, well, I could see the destination. I'm fine. I'm going to get there. And similar to your vehicle, it can burn out, run out of energy. And at the end of the day, it all begins with us. As you grow, everything around you rises, almost as a side effect. And so we have to ask ourselves, well, what does the best version of me look like? What is that to you? It's different for all of us. And when we think about becoming the best version of ourselves, I like to think about, well, how do you want to feel each day? Do you want to feel bliss, fulfillment, happiness, joy, peace? How do you want to show up for your family? How do you want to show up in your business, the success you want to experience? And as you gain more clarity on that, you can start to put the pieces together and figure out, well, the habits I have now or the beliefs I have aren't really in alignment with where I want to go. And we learn what we want to get rid of, what we need to incorporate more of. However, there's also 3 things that I believe can help just about anybody become a better version of themselves and fulfill their full potential. Now, the first one is goals versus commitments. We're all told to have goals, write them down, put them in a place that we could see them every day. That is, in fact, good and healthy, and it can help you. However, that's where most people stop, and goals are really just the beginning. We must also develop commitments to fulfill that goal. The commitments are your blueprint, your actionable steps on how you'll fulfill that goal. And I'm going to break both of them down and kind of show you what they both look like and how you might be missing out on a lot of opportunities if you don't also incorporate commitments. So goals might look like this. Well, I want to purchase 3 new deals this year. I want to make $1 million. I want to maybe lose 20 pounds, spend more time with my family. And that's all great. We can write these down and we can read them every day, but what are we going to do about it? We need to develop an action plan. So if we had a goal to purchase 3 new deals, our commitments might look like this. Well, I'm going to make 50 cold calls a day, send out 500 letters a week. I'm going to nurture potential leads and connect with wholesalers, brokers, sellers. Now we have actionable steps on how to fulfill a goal. And there's actually a mental transformation that takes place and our brain can more easily notice and identify the things throughout our day that we can start doing to fulfill a goal. Let's look at another one. Let's say that you had a goal to spend more time with your family. Your commitments might be, I'm going to put my phone away at 5 p.m. I'm going to be more intentional, a better listener. I'm going to make sure we're showing up together as a family for dinner. Plan an activity after dinner, whether it's a game, a hike, a movie. Now I know what I can do. Versus if I just had the goal to spend more time with my family, I might kind of go about my day the same way. Maybe I get a half-hour break in my day and I ask, well, what am I going to do with my time? Oh, I have this goal. Maybe I'll go check in with my kids, spend a little bit of time with them. Maybe a Saturday rolls around and you're like, what can we do today? Oh, I have this goal. Why don't I take everybody out to dinner tonight? And you are, in fact, moving closer to that goal, but you see that without the commitments, we actually missed out on a whole bunch of opportunities throughout our day and our week to be more intentional and show up differently and really spend more time with our family. So without the commitments, we're only getting halfway there. And when you think about what your goals are, ask yourself, well, what commitments can I make to fulfill these goals? And you will notice that you start to propel yourself forward much faster. The second one is a depth perception problem. This is something that the majority of us experience. And a depth perception problem is when we believe our goals to be further away than they actually are. And what they have found is if you believe your goals to be, we'll call it 5 years in the future, you'll develop patterns, habits, and beliefs to fulfill that goal in that time frame. And if you were to change that same goal to a 1.5-year goal, you'll develop a whole new set of beliefs, patterns, and habits to fulfill that goal in that time frame. I'll give you a really great example of this. At our very first event, this is 3 or 4 years ago, some of you who were there recall this, but Shane Chapin had a 2-year goal. A 2-year goal to leave his 9-to-5 and pursue storage full time. And for those of us who know Shane, you know when he says he's going to do something, he's going to get it done. And which is why I'd be willing to bet if he said he was going to do it in 2 years, he would have. But it took a few people in the room to say, hold on, Shane, that's actually a 6-month goal. And Shane could have said, okay, it's a 6-month goal, we'll see, and carried on with what he was going to do, but he probably wouldn't have seen results. What he really had to do was adopt this new belief. Yeah, it's possible. I can, I will do it. It's done already. It's going to happen. He also had to have a strong enough why. He had to really want it. And this is a sidebar, but some of us, I don't know if it's anyone in this room, if you ever feel like you've been on this journey for too long to fulfilling the goals that you want to fulfill, and you feel like you're just not moving fast enough, one of the things you might want to reflect on is ask yourself, is the thing you're chasing really the thing you want? Maybe what you really want is how you think that will make you feel. Or maybe you just don't have a strong enough why. But Shane did. And he adopted this new belief that it was possible. And as a result, Shane fulfilled this goal in 4.5 months. So think about that. Shane saved himself over 1.5 years. And all he really did was he just changed his belief on what was possible. And as a result, he developed new patterns and habits to support that and fulfill it in that time frame. So I wonder how many of us have goals off in this distant future at this imaginary finish line that we've created, maybe because we're leaning into self-doubt or a lack of confidence. And so the goals that you do have, I would encourage you to ask yourself, how far away are they really? The next one is visualization. Now, I talked a little bit about this at the last retreat, so I'm not going to mention all of the same stuff, but this one is so important, we have to talk about it again, and I'll share some new stuff with you. Now, we know that with visualization, so when we incorporate this into our morning routine and we see the person we want to become every day, the energy, the confidence, the bliss we want to experience, how we show up for our family, the success in our business that we want to have, and what that looks like. When we see it every day, our brain sends a message to our neurons and says, go perform that action. Sorry, Josh, I am talking about Huberman. And our brain will actually put this into motion for us. So you'll kind of feel like this gravitational pull. You'll notice you start doing these things and becoming that person. Furthermore, your brain sends dopamine throughout your bloodstream, which is responsible for pursuit. It gives you that extra nudge that you need. And through the course of visualization, you'll start becoming the person you want to become. This is even mentioned in Scripture. One of my favorite verses in Proverbs says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." In other words, we will become what we think of ourselves. And our life right now is a real reflection of our thoughts and our beliefs. And through the act of thoughts and visualization, we can propel ourselves forward into the person we want to become. Now, we've also found that visualization greatly increases your confidence. And that might sound kind of basic. Yeah, I know more confidence is good. And John and I were talking about this the other day, but I think as entrepreneurs, we're so hungry for more knowledge, we forget about the basics and the things that could really serve us. I know Kobe Bryant once said, he said, "I'm the greatest basketball player in the world because I've never steered away from the basics." And confidence, having more confidence might seem basic, but when we strengthen this, it can change everything for us. So we know with more confidence, we will have and experience more energy, certainty, clarity, more creative decision-making, and less fear, doubt, anxiety, limiting beliefs. So let me give you an example of this. I know John Farling's a pretty good basketball player. And when John shows up to play basketball, he's probably pretty confident he could beat most people. And even if someone else comes along who's more skilled than John, if John shows up with more confidence than he does, John's likelihood of winning is far greater. Why? Because he has more energy, more clarity, more creative decision making. That's the person you bet on. So through the act of visualization, we spike our confidence because we're constantly seeing the person we want to become, the success we're having, and we know that neurons that fire together wire together. So the act of seeing it over and over and over, our brain says, no, this is who we are. No, we're confident because we've already had this success. And you'll start to become more confident. And you'll notice the results of that. And you might ask, well, how long does all of this take? Well, they found that anywhere from 66 to 365 days. They're not sure when. It's different for everybody. But somewhere in that time frame, you'll start to notice the benefits. Now, for me, I do visualization daily. And when I first started doing it, I immediately started seeing the results. I started seeing myself moving in the direction that I wanted to go, performing the actions that I wanted to perform. I started working out more, taking care of my health. I was showing up differently in my business. And you'll see that happening right away, but somewhere past that 66-day mark, that's when your brain starts to rewire itself. That's when you start to notice the internal and external benefits of visualization, and you'll see the changes in your life. Now, sometimes we get this backwards and we think, well, when I create the external success, then I'll receive the internal success. When I fulfill and make the $1 million, I'll feel happy and fulfilled and peace and clarity and all of that stuff. And then what you find is when you make the $1 million, it's, oh, I'm still a little bit insecure. I'm not as happy as I thought I would be. Maybe I should go chase something bigger and something more. And we spend our whole life chasing things in hopes of becoming the person we want to be, when in reality, we can just become the person we want to be now, and as a result, experience the external success that comes with you being the better version of yourself. If you want to be more energized, you might need to start incorporating new habits and getting rid of some old habits. If you want to be in abundance of knowledge, you might need to start reading more and surrounding yourself with people who are in abundance of knowledge, and stop spending so much time with people who just talk about the past all the time. If you want to be more confident, this can help you. So in other words, you can start to become the person you want to be now, not when you achieve all the success. And there's nothing wrong with chasing more and fulfilling goals, but you don't have to do that in hopes of becoming the person you want to be. You can just be that person now, and you'll experience the results externally as a result of being a higher level you. So I hope that brings some clarity. I hope that's helpful for you guys. These are some things that I have done over the past year or so that have been really helpful for me. I'm still growing in this stuff. I'm always working on it. I'm always trying to become a better version of myself. And so I hope that was helpful for you guys. What we're going to do now, I want to bring a really good friend of mine to the stage, John Farling. And you guys have seen John's success really explode over the past year or two. And so I'm excited for you to hear from him and see what it is he's doing. And if you guys wouldn't mind joining me and put our hands together, and let's welcome our friend John to the stage.